Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Isis, and here's her story. Hello, Ollie. My name is Isis Chandler. Please feel free to use my full name. I donated $10 via PayPal today, 6/11/19. I wish I could send more, but that is all I can afford at this time. You said in one of your videos that really affected my life. You said something in one of your videos that really affected my life, and I wanted to say thank you. My family operates like a cult. My narcissistic uncle is the cult leader, and everyone else is one of his loyal followers. Last year, I told some family members how bad the abuse I endured during childhood was. It included him showing me his penis when I was 9 and slapping my mother in the face. I finally told my aunt and cousin, who were both living in a different state when I was growing up and not 100% aware of what was happening when I was a child, how bad the abuse I endured was. They were sympathetic at the time. Then a year later, they let me know that I was expected and obligated to be civil to the man who abused me as a child. A big family event was coming up, and I had to be nice to him for the good of the family. Yeah. You know, I've talked about this in the past about if you reveal abuse to your family and they don't cut the abuser out and they continue to knowingly carry on a relationship with the narcissist, they have to go. Because not only are they enablers, not only are they flying monkeys most of the time, they're actually collaborators. And what I've come to be convinced of in this scenario, when you have these quote unquote reveal moments and the family feigns shock, clutches pearls, oh my God, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry that happened. That's terrible. I can't believe it. And then they carry on the relationship anyway. Know what that tells me? That they not only do they condone it, that they knew the entire time. And not only in their silence are they enabling and are they flying monkeys, but they're collaborating. And a lot of times they have their own agenda to sit back and silently watch this abuse go down. A lot of times they're the source and you don't even realize it. You see, the deeper I analyze my father's relationship with his sister Adrienne, the more I realize that she is in fact the source, the main source now of my family's narcissism. Because of her competition with my father and his competition with her and this fucking thing that has been going on for 70 years now between the two of them. A battle he lost probably 55 years ago and doesn't know it. Because of that, the abuse and the narcissism and the sociopathy has trickled down. And the more it trickled down, the more abused I was, the more it meant his family was fucked up, the more supply she got out of it, the more supply that she got, that she was better than my mother and better than my father. That's why they gotta go. Because what you're finding out is, oh, you're a collaborator. Not only are you a collaborator, you just might well be the fucking source. You hear be nice, you got to carry on for the good of the family. It means they knew the entire time. In one of your videos, you said that if a victim opens up to a family member about how bad the abuse was, Then if that same family member continues to support the narcissist after they are fully aware of what happened, excuse me, the victim will have to let that enabler go. You're 100% right. That is exactly what happened to me 2 weeks ago. I cut off my entire family. I was the abused child, and my uncle was the child and woman abuser. Anyone who is not 100% on my side has to go. And here's the thing. It was your mother's response. This isn't your responsibility. It was your mother's. I'm assuming if he's an uncle, it's your mom's brother. She's letting him abuse her. So I'm going to assume that the aunt in question is your mom's sister. And the cousin would probably be that sister's child who is the main competition for you, right? So what I'm already seeing here is that the person you're confessing that you're revealing this abuse to, you're revealing your narcissistic abuse to the fucking source, and you're not even realizing it. Because whether it's your mother's sister or your father's, I don't know where your father is in this entire scenario. I'm imagining he might not be in the picture if her brother's in the picture slapping her in the fucking face. I'm thinking that's what's going on here. Now, there is a video link at the bottom, and whenever I get these, I click. If I see a link, I'll click on it, and I watch the first 20 seconds of her video. I'm like, all right, let me read through this, and then we'll go through the video. So, yeah, I'm already thinking that the person you were trying to reveal this abuse to was the source of it. I tell the whole story here in this video on my own YouTube channel. I mention you in the video and gave you much deserved thank you for the warning. I also linked your channel in the description. Please check it out if you get a chance. Thank you so much, Isis Chandler. It's a 17-minute video. And I watched the first 20 seconds, and I'm like, okay, I think this might be a good video subject. And I'm still feeling loopy. So, here we go.
I don't want to be around a man who hits women in the face, exposes little boys to hardcore torture porn films, and who exposes his penis to little girls. But according to my family, I'm obligated to. It's my obligation to be around him. This video is going to explain why I have cut off my entire family. You will relate to this if you come from a family where there's a narcissist who is surrounded by a ton of enablers. Just everyone in the family, in my family, is an enabler. You will relate to this if you've had a narcissist in your family and they're just surrounded by flying monkeys and enablers who, no matter what the narcissist does, it's excusable. No matter what they do, the enablers and the flying monkeys accept it. I want to give thanks to Olliemathews, who has his YouTube channel. It's called The Narcissistic Resistance. He had this video and he talked about if you sit down with your family members and you describe how bad the abuse was, and they go, oh, I'm so sorry you went through that, and they give you all this sympathy, but they still go back to the narcissist and don't change their relationship with the narcissist. He said, you gotta let them go, because your relationship with them is going to deteriorate. And I was watching that, and he was so right. I finally sat down with my aunt and my cousin, who, they were in another state when I was a child. Okay, they were in New York and we were in Connecticut, and they were around us all a lot, but they weren't there, constantly dealing with him on a day-to-day basis, constantly seeing how he treated me, how he treated his own children, how he treated his wife, my mother. They weren't there, I grew up right there. My mom worked for him. And so because they weren't there, I thought maybe if I tell them how bad.
So the uncle's married, he has his own kids, and he's abusing your mother. It's got to be your mother's brother. And I'm imagining it's their brother, the aunt's brother. There's no way that this behavior is anything new. What I'm thinking is this aunt is jealous of her brother. Okay, your uncle. And your mother, wait, is your mother, yeah, and then your mother and her, I guess her, yeah, she's your uncle, he's your mother's sister, right? And that's her sister. So what it is the one sister you're confessing to enjoys watching the older brother abuse the other sister she's in competition with. Is that basically what's going on? Basically, I mean that's what it seems like.
Bad the abuse was. Having, food thrown on me, having him damage my ribs and knock the wind out of me when I was 3 years old, just the constant criticism, making me feel this big, destroying my self-esteem, verbal abuse, physical abuse. Maybe if I tell them everything, they will understand and finally get it. So I sit down with my aunt and my cousin, and I tell them everything. I wasn't planning on it. It just came up. And then the conversation started, and it just started flowing, and I told them everything about, the horrors of the abuse, the horrors of my childhood, the verbal abuse, physical abuse, neglect, everything. I told them everything, and they were really, really sympathetic, and my aunt said to me, you were the narcissist competition, because the narcissists hated the fact that my mother, his main source of narcissistic supply, had a little girl to take care of. How dare you have a child that you're going to give your attention to when I'm standing right here and I need it. That's how the narcissist mind works. So my aunt admitted to me, you were his competition. Then she also said to me, you have every right to be mad at your mother for not protecting you. Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it almost sounds like he's your dad at the same time. I mean, it sounds like you're talking about your dad, this jealousy thing where your uncle, but you're saying, in your letter, you said it's an uncle. Am I missing that? Yeah, my narcissistic uncle is a cult leader. Yeah, so we're talking about your uncle, and I imagine he saw your mother, his sister, as property, and then the other sister is telling you, but she's telling you here again, like what I'm telling you. This is about competition. This is about competition. That's what the aunt is like. You were the narcissist competition. So she understands narcissism, the aunt, which would tell me she's got to be doing some narcissism research. So don't tell me if she's using terms like narcissism herself and competition herself. She knows full well what her brother is, and capable of. What she's telling you is she's your competition, meaning the aunt. She's telling you here, Isis, I'm the source. I'm the source.
And then the third thing that she said to me was, and this is the one that really has sort of solidified everything in my mind. She said, and I quote, you never have to see him again. So I was like, great. She fully understands. She's on my side. She gets it.
Let me explain to you, because she's obviously going to renege on that. That is a short-term supply of she might get over her brother, over your mother, that you're not going to talk to him again. That's just short-term on her behalf. That's just some greedy supply she's sucking up there. She's knowing full well he ain't going anywhere. She knows full well.
Two months later, I'm at her house for Easter, and I hear her on the phone with the narcissist's son talking about the narcissist's upcoming birthday party and how she's going to his party and she can't wait to see everybody. And I was like, oh, I was in the bedroom next.
Yeah, she's not going to miss out on a party for you. What did you think? She's going to miss out on a good time and a show for you? No.
Next to hers, because that's where me and my husband were staying. And I heard her say that, and I was just kind of like crushed in a way that she would want to associate with him after everything I told her. And then, a year after that, my cousin's getting married. So, I don't want anything to do with the narcissist, and my other uncle doesn't want anything to do with the narcissist, his brother. So, my aunt, after saying to me, you never have to see him again, calls me up and tells me that he's coming to the wedding, the narcissist is coming to the wedding, and if I'm going to come, I better be on my best behavior and not make a big deal out of it and be nice to him and be courteous. And I was just like, so stunned that after everything I said to her, that she would want him there. And that my cousin was also there. The one who was getting married, she was there when I was like, bearing my soul and telling them all of this. She wanted the narcissist at her wedding too, because they're this enmeshed family.
Yeah, that's when they hit you in the gut. And that's meant to stun you. After all this, that's what I'm telling you. You're nothing. After all this, you're nothing. It's about the party. I don't care what he did to you. I've known what he did to you the entire time. Ooh, did you like the pearl clutching act I did where I feigned surprise? Oh, terrible. Please.
And it's like, you don't do anything that's going to disrupt the family. It doesn't matter. You are not an individual. You don't matter. It's like, what's best for the family is what matters. And that's the mentality. And that's what I was raised with. And that's the way they are. So after her saying to me, you never have to see him again, a year later, you're going to have to see him and be on your best behavior. And, oh my God. I just cannot believe that my cousin, who has always been like my sister.
No, she hasn't.
I
knew it.
Want to associate with this man after
I knew it. No,
told
she's been your competition, Isis. She's been your competition the entire time. Your aunt sees your mother and brother as competition. And her daughter has to be. I guarantee you, in your aunt's eyes, her daughter is better than you. She's not your sister. You're gaslighting yourself.
If she told me that somebody threw her on the floor and hurt her ribs, threw food on her, destroyed her self-esteem, I would never want to associate with the bastard who did that to her. I would be out for his blood. But no, she was like ingrained into this enmeshed family. So she's like, yeah, I want my uncle there. So he gets invited to the wedding. I go to the wedding. Seeing him at the wedding was torture for me. Because his voice and his face and just everything about him.
Well, you should have just been like, well, then I won't be there. That was it. I mean, there was your opportunity to be like, you know what? Then I won't be there. Bye.
Like, just triggers all these bad memories. So I went and I got up and I gave a really impressive maid of honor speech. And
you were the maid of honor? She made you be the maid of honor? And invited somebody who would beat you. Wow, that's passive aggressive. So she wanted to make sure, because the maid of honor's job is to dote on the bride, is to run and get everything for the bride, to make sure the bride doesn't do anything. It's supposed to be somebody you trust with anything you would ride or die with. Obviously not. How do you expect me to be your maid of honor when you want me to stand there, okay, and be nice to my and you're gonna invite your abuser? Like, what are you, nuts?
I have years of theater training. I do YouTube channels. I'm used to getting up and talking. So everyone said they were really, really impressed with my speech. And that I was, articulate and elegant. And they were just so impressed. And the whole time I was giving that speech, all I could think of was, my uncle is looking at me. And I hope he sees that he did not destroy my self-esteem. Because he wanted to. He hated me for existing. And he wanted me to feel useless. And by getting up in front of the whole family and giving this speech, it was like this cathartic moment of, you did not destroy my self-esteem, you son of a bitch. You wanted to, but you didn't. And so I almost didn't go to the wedding. I almost told them all to go to hell. But then after that, something else happened that was just the last straw. My sister-in-law and I have no relationship. She decided she hated me after I got married because my brother killed himself. Being raised in this family, can you imagine why someone would want to kill themselves? Being raised by my mother, who told me I couldn't do anything and I shouldn't bother trying anything I was interested in, and, raised me to believe that I wasn't entitled to feel proud of myself and the world was full of nothing but limitations and no possibilities. Why would her son kill himself? She was so shocked when he did that. And looking back and analyzing the way I was raised, it's like, no, it's not surprising at all. You raise us to see the world as this hopeless place. And so my brother did, and he killed himself. And my sister-in-law, psychologically damaged from that, but she hates me because the moment I got married, I suddenly had this great, new, wonderful relationship with this amazing husband. I had this relationship that she never had. Her relationship with my brother was horrible. They were always, horrible to each other. So she resents me. She resents me for being happily married. Everybody in my family knows that her hatred for me is ridiculous. Everyone knows that I've tried calling her and emailing her, and she will not sit down and have a conversation with me about why she's mad at me. So my aunt has admitted to me, your sister-in-law's situation, her take on this, her anger towards you is not warranted. She's just scapegoating you. She's so mad that her husband died, and she's so mad that that she never had a good relationship, and she's just got so much rage from her own life. And my aunt admitted it to me that my sister-in-law is, pretty much scapegoating me. Like, there's no logical reason for her to be this mad. On top of that, I've emailed, I've called. She hangs up on me when I call and won't talk to me and won't return my email, so she won't talk to me and tell me why she's so upset.
Why do you care at this point?
So basically,
your brother's dead. Not to sound callous about it, but why does it matter whether she'll talk to you or not? Are you sure you're not? Look, it seems to me competition between the women and the siblings is currency in your family. Okay? And if you're telling me your relationship with the relationship with your brother who committed suicide and the sister-in-law, his wife, was terrible and she's blaming you on it, what I'm assuming is she probably just bitched and bitched and bitched about you nonstop to him because it was another competition. Now I would ask you honestly, are you sure you weren't competing back with her? Based on the picture you're using to depict her, I get it. She's scapegoating you and all, but, does she look like that? Is that actually what she looks like? Or, for someone whose husband did commit suicide by hanging himself, I'm going to be honest, it's a bit insensitive. I don't know the entire situation, but, again, based on what you're telling me from your other siblings and aunts, this is all, seems like it's all narcissistic competition going on. Okay? And the fact that your aunt is throwing these terms around like scapegoating and narcissism is definitely, she's definitely researching it. She's definitely checking out YouTube videos, I would think.
Basically, she doesn't have a logical reason for being upset. She hates me because I'm happily married, Another reason that she hates me is because I'm slender and thin and in shape, and she's morbidly obese. So this is just basic bullshit female pettiness. After I went to my cousin's wedding and put up with my abuser for her because she wanted him there and I was the maid of honor and I had this obligation to go. I see my cousin at my nephew's wedding. My sister-in-law invited everyone in the family except me. So I had to make this huge sacrifice to go to my cousin's wedding, but then my cousin didn't have the decency to say to my sister-in-law, look, call ISIS and work it out. This is ridiculous. I can't come. I don't feel comfortable if you're going to cut her out. Just call her and work it out. No, didn't stand up for me. And after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm so done with these people. I am so done with these people. I'm just cutting them all out because basically they are never going to cut off the narcissist. Ever. And when I think about it, they didn't want to stand up for my mom after he hit her in the face. Marriages have broken up for that. People have lost custody of their children because they hit their child's mother, okay? It has ramifications. Not in my family, though. When it's the narcissist, free pass, there's nothing he can do that will make people say goodbye to him forever. So, where I am right now in my life, I was the child who was abused and he was the child abuser. Anybody who is not 100% on my side has to go. Anybody who tells me it's my moral obligation as part of this family to show up at events and put up with him, they have to go. Anybody who tells me that, I'm crazy for disrupting the family by cutting this man off, has to go. And everyone who still puts all the blame on me for this family not being completely whole and perfect because I will not deal with this man has to go. And that is all of them. And they will never stand up to him. They will never admit that anything is wrong. They are total denial. And I have just had it. So this is the...
They're not in denial. They're collaborators. They know they've known the entire time. And the latest episode and it's just another example of, okay, the rules don't apply. It's not equal footing. It's not equal rules. Okay? And your aunt should know this if she's using terms like narcissism and scapegoating and those.
The goodbye email I wrote to my family. And I'm not going to name anybody's names for privacy. But dear aunt and cousin, you all went to my nephew's wedding. You all know my sister-in-law's reasons for hating me are ridiculous. Yet nobody told her to call me and work it out. So Adam, my husband, and I were banished from my own nephew's wedding. This is after I had to go to my cousin's wedding and face my abuser. I should never have to be around the narcissist again. Having to be around him at my cousin's wedding was mental torture. His face and voice trigger years of bad memories. He wanted to destroy my self-esteem. Even when I was giving the maid of honor speech, all I could think of was, look how confident I am, you didn't ruin me, asshole. The narcissist belongs in jail. He hit his own sister in the face, bruised the face of another young waitress who worked for him, rented his 9-year-old son hardcore torture porn, and kicked my aunt's cat in the stomach. His behavior toward me, my mother, his 2 sons, his wife, and all the women who worked for him was way worse than immoral. It was criminal. He belongs behind bars. When I told you how bad the child abuse...
So let me ask you something. This is his brother. This is the person you're writing it to's brother. Do you think he just started acting like this out of nowhere? You think they don't know this is exactly who he was the entire time?
I endured was, you said to me, and I quote, you never have to see him again. Then a year later, I have to see him at my cousin's wedding. Then you invited him to her shower. My family keeps making me feel like it's my obligation to be around my abuser, yet nobody will stand up for me under any circumstances. Please do not call, text, or email me. I need a nice long break from all of you. You're right. I never have to be around him again. If the rest of you go with him, so be it. So my cousin's pregnant right now. The narcissist got invited to her wedding. He got invited to her baby shower. Yeah, keep inviting him. Invite him to your daughter's, first and second and third birthday party. let him be around her when she's really, really young, you know, the most vulnerable age. Brilliant. And I know she will, because she's an enabler, like everybody else, and will never admit there's anything wrong with this man. So her daughter's gonna get exposed to this monster, and there's nothing I can do. Fucking brilliant people. So that is why I essentially want nothing to do with my family. My family now is my husband, his parents, our cats, and the wonderful group of friends that I have. I was talking to my mother-in-law, and she said, get rid of these people, cut them out of your life. I love my mother-in-law. But she said, use all this material to write a novel. Like, you have so many great sources of material for characters. And I said, oh, well, yeah, I've been writing one for years, so it's actually almost finished, going to be published. So if you want to read a novel about what it's like to grow up in a family like mine, it's about reincarnation and karma, because I think there is a reason I was born into this family. I don't think it was random. Whatever reason, I had this karma to make up and I chose this family. I don't think it was random. So yeah, it's all about reincarnation, coming back, reincarnating into this crazy family, and how you have to, the things you have to do to survive it. So if you are interested in reading my novel, it should be out pretty soon. Just email me and I will add you to the mailing list if you would like to read it. I don't know if it's going to be self-published or if I'm going to submit it for publication. I don't know, but it will definitely be released one way or the other. So if you would like to read it, shoot me an email and I will add you to the list of people that I will announce it to once the book is available. If any of you have had similar family dynamics where there's a horrible abusive narcissist and a bunch of enablers and flying monkeys just supporting the narcissist no matter what they do, please share your situation, your stories in the comments below.
Okay, so I'm going to put a link to the video in the description box. You guys can check it out and check out ISIS's channel. You got yourselves. So what I'm going to tell you here, ISIS, is that these flying monkeys, these enablers, these people you were revealing to knew the entire time. When they say you have to deal with it for the good of the family, it means they knew. And they don't care. So, move on. Stay no contact. Don't look back. They don't give a shit. So, thank you very much for your contribution and your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you guys. Without you all, this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.